We have the cars lining up now for the Australian Production Car Championship, round number 7, penultimate championship race here today at Sydney's AMAROO Park Raceway. It's almost welcome back to Toyota land.
Yeah, and they've got all the top spots on the grid again. The Toyota Supra is here. Slightly different cars, though, to the one we saw Brian Thompson drive to victory in the sports sedan race. Certainly under the bonnet, a different car. But the competition is just as fierce in this category. In fact, with 2 rounds to go, there is just 1 point separating Peter Fitzgerald and Mark Gibbs for the Australian Production Car Championship. Ken Douglas not all that far astern of them, followed by John Burke on the point score, and then Mike Preston. Preston, yes, there he is. He's on the grid. I didn't see him earlier. So it's a strong field, and the racing has been close all season, and as we get round towards the end of the series with just this and the next rounds to go, the points position is so tight the fireworks could really cut loose here this afternoon at AMAROO Park.
And of course, not only the Australian Production Car Championship round at stake here today, but also the Stallion Stables 2WS Production Car Series for AMAROO Park. Good field. John Burke on pole from Peter Fitzgerald, Kenny Douglas, Mike Preston, Mark Gibbs, Andrew Harris in the Mazda, Roland Hill, one to watch in the Commodore. They had a warm-up race this morning, and was very impressed with Roland Hill. Got out of the starts very quickly. We're about 5 seconds away from the start. Round 7 of the National Production Car Championship. They're off and racing. Fitzy wins the jump. Burke a little slow to start, and then moving up very quickly on the outside is Michael Preston. But Burke may have won the start to the top of Bitchapave Hill. Good field stream over the top of Bitchapave and head down to Dunlop Loop. Now Burke needs to get across. Oh, some slipping and sliding going on there, and Fitzgerald, in fact, has gone back about 3 spots on the queue. Burke will have a little of the pressure off his shoulders at this stage as he moves down towards Sutton's Corner. Ken Douglas from Victoria runs in 2nd spot at the moment. The track's still very, very greasy. Been a lot of oil dropped on it here today at AMAROO Park.
Mark Gibbs in 3rd spot, then series leader Fitzgerald right behind him.
Well, we've got all the makings here of a great scrap between Mark Gibbs in car number 8 and Peter Fitzgerald in the Yokohama entry.
1 point the difference between them in the national title.
They'll love to trade a bit of paint, these two.
Fitzgerald is the leader in the 2WS Stallion Stable Series.
I don't know if they love to trade paint, it just seems that they always do.
Here comes Preston too.
Yes, Gibbs got a bit sideways coming out of that corner, and that was just the break that Peter Fitzgerald needed. Now he's trying to gather everything back up again. Slipping and sliding everywhere as he goes through there. It's Peter Fitzgerald. Gibbs is the next one, followed by Michael Preston. And while all this is going on, out front John Burke in the Toyo Tyres entry is doing quite nicely, thank you.
Last 2 meetings, Burke really has found something in his car. There he is heading into the Lake Turn.
Well, John was always a regular campaigner here in the early days of production car racing. He wasn't really a winner, but he was always in the top 3, and it's just great to see him enjoying a purple patch this season. There's the gap that he holds over Victorian Ken Douglas as they head up Bitchapave Hill yet again.
John Burke is in 2nd spot in the local Stallion Stables 2WS Series. So if he could take the checkered flag here and Fitzgerald get muscled back a few places, he might just squeak the title.
He may. At this stage, Douglas runs 2nd. I think Fitzgerald has picked up a spot on the way through, up to 3rd. Kenny Douglas moving probably about a couple of seconds in arrears to John Burke, but he's going to have plenty to keep his mind on the job at the moment because Peter Fitzgerald is making a lunge right at the tail. Looking to get past him and get on with Burke at this stage of the race. Mark Gibbs still in 4th place. Boy, haven't these Toyota Supras opened up the production car class. went through periods of the Mazdas, and then of course the Commodores came into it. And there hasn't really been a car to run with the Supras since the early part of the season. The unfortunate thing is we've missed Gary Walden, who was really doing big things for Mazda.
Mazda miss him too.
Yeah, found the racing very, very expensive. So after just missing the start marginally to Burke, Fitzgerald's had to do this one the hard way. Went back to fourth on the queue after getting a little touch at Dunlop Loop in the opening lap.
This category of racing has become very expensive the last couple of seasons. Of course, with car import prices the way they are, these vehicles are about $65,000 on the road. That's before you start with any of the gear to make them race worthy under these conditions. So, you know, to run a season, you're talking about $150,000 just to keep body and soul together.
Yeah.
The one good thing about the Toyota Supras is the unbelievable reliability. Once you've paid for and got the car and it's up and running, it will go for the whole season. Some of the other makes have not had quite the same reliability, and therefore they're doubly expensive.
Remains to be seen whether Fitzy can pull in Kenny Douglas at this stage as they head down to the lake corner.
Well, if anybody can, John Fitzgerald, getting my sports mixed up there, Peter Fitzgerald would be the man to do it, but he's got to get past Ken Douglas to make any headway at all on John Burke, and I don't see that happening at the moment, although this is a 15 lapper, so there's still time. Mark Gibbs hasn't been seen in his normal aggressive role today here at AMAROO Park, but then I guess if the machinery's not quite on song on the day, then all the aggression in the world is not going to do you any good. But he's a great talent, and with a competitive car, force to be reckoned with. But unfortunately, as I said today, the others just the front of the pack just seem to have the wood on it. John Burke continues to lead down to the lake corner again, pursued by Ken Douglas. Peter Fitzgerald right on Douglas's back. Then a gap back to Mark Gibbs, about 60 metres, followed by Mike Preston.
Laps the distance of today's dual round of the National Production Car Championship.
We've covered 6 laps.
And of course the Stallion Stables 2WS AMAROO Park Series. Beautifully turned out Super of John Burke. Everything running very comfortably for him today. Through Suttons and down to Honda Corner. Don't forget we still have the 2 heats of the AMSCAR Touring Car Series Grand Final day here today, a 10-lapper and the 20-lapper still to come in our telecast of racing from AMAROO. Let's check out the cars and how they run on the Caltex race score for you. John Burke is race leader over Kenny Douglas, Peter Fitzgerald in 3rd place, Mark Gibbs is 4th, and Michael Preston 5th. All of them in Toyota Supras, and we'll return to AMAROO in just a tick or two. Back at AMAROO Park Raceway, we have 5 laps remaining in the 7th round of the Australian Production Car Championship. Peter Fitzgerald just displacing Kenny Douglas to move to 2nd, and he's really on the haul now after John Burke. So it's been a steady climb back through the field. Got an incident here on our replay. Victorian Ian Thompson in the CRX getting around sideways. Oh! Oof. That Schmartz hit there by the Swift, I think it was. Bad luck for Ian Thompson in the CRX. It's been slightly modified after spinning off there. 1st, 2nd going through your screen, and Peter Fitzgerald closing very rapidly, in fact, on John Burke with 4 laps remaining. So there's still time for Fitzgerald to take the checkered flag here and complete the local series with a victory and to extend his lead over Mark Gibbs in the National Production Car Championship. The only man that's certain of a place here in the top 3, I think, is Kenny Douglas, who's been placed, but he holds such a a good break over fourth, he's almost certain for third. The dice are certainly up front, with Burke trying to hold back the charging Peter Fitzgerald. As Kenny goes through Suttons and comes downhill to the left-hander at Honda Corner.
Ken Douglas had his big moment for the season, of course, in our coverage of the round at Sandown a couple of months ago, where he took a victory. And of course, John Burke has really come good with a vengeance towards the end of the season at Oran Park and now here at AMAROO. And Fitzgerald not getting any closer on that last lap. Burke obviously deciding that now's the time to get serious. Laps running out.
Good pressure driver, Fitzy, though. Knows this track well. I've lost count how many years he's been tooling around production cars at AMAROO.
Well, he's a smart campaigner. As you said, he knows that he doesn't have to take the checkered flag here to clinch the series or extend his lead in the national championship.
There's a lot of race around him. Some of the...
if the chance presents itself, he'll take it.
I think he will. Burke comes down to the lake corner again. Fitzgerald closing all the time, as you can see. Laps running out. 2 to go now. Burke just there. Fitzgerald closing all the time as they head up Bitchapave Hill. This will certainly put a bit of pressure on the Toyo Tyres Supra driver, Johnny Burke. On the run down to Sutton's Corner now. Got about a lap and a half remaining now as they go through Sutton's and down to Honda Corner. Expect Fitzgerald to pick up any ground probably at the lake corner under brakes. Okay, Burke's clear on the run down to the lake now. He's coming up on a couple of slower cars that might run a little bit of interference in this last lap. Along to Toledo Corner. Last lap board should be out this time. And here they come, up on some slower cars heading up the hill. Just exactly where Burke strikes these. If they run any interference dropping down into Lake Corner, it could hurt him. No, he's already passed one. At this stage, you'd say that Burke looks pretty set for victory here in round 7 this afternoon.
Flashing the lights.
Now that will affect Fitzgerald. He'll get by the slower driver down to this corner, bouncing all over the road trying to pick it up in the last sprint down to the lake corner.
Will he have a last desperate lunge at John Burke? Under brakes? No, can't make up enough ground.
So along the run now to Toledo Corner. Last corner comes up, round 7 of the Australian Production Car Championship and the Stallion Stables 2WS Series. And it will go to John Burke this afternoon over Peter Fitzgerald. And a good drive there from John Burke. Third place will go to Ken Douglas. And they really did open up a fair gap over the rest of the field. So well done, Johnny Burke. Let's check them out on our Caltech CXT race score. Johnny Burke, the winner in the Toyota Supra. Second, Peter Fitzgerald. Another Supra. And third, Victorian Kenny Douglas.